Hey guys, what's going on? Boost Auto here. Today we are going to be installing our light up Lumastep M2 powered running boards on 2018 to 2024 Jeep Wranglers and Jeep Gladiators. Let's get started.
Here at Boost Auto, we are proud to present our Lumastep M2 light-up running boards for your 2018 plus Jeep Wranglers and 2020 plus Jeep Gladiators. You can bet that they will elevate the look of your vehicle. The running boards will spring into action and deploy as soon as your door is open to help you get in and out of your vehicle. When they aren't being used, they retract and hide along the rocker panel of your vehicle, giving you extra ground clearance and a sleek look. All our light functions are standard across all Boost Auto products and work seamlessly with one another. Our powered running boards utilize a single motor design and have been tested in-house to put out 2 times the amount of torque when compared to our competitors. Our boards are made from 6000 series aerospace grade aluminum, so you know that they are built to last. Our boards have a weight capacity of 600 pounds per side. We have dedicated installation videos for each application we offer to ensure a hassle-free, no-fuss installation.
For visibility, we have the vehicle on a lift to show you the mounting points. So the front bracket's going to be mounted right here, and the rear bracket will be mounted right here. We're going to start with the installation of the front bracket hardware. So we're going to take our bolt, lock washer, and washer plate and just hand thread it into this mounting location for the time being, but don't go all the way because we need to slide our front bracket over this washer plate. Now take your bracket and slide it over the washer plate. Next, we're going to take our 10mm bolt with our washers and nuts and mount to the pinch weld. And you're just going to hand tighten these for now. Now repeat the same steps for the rear bracket.
This next part is going to be the harness installation, and we're going to start by disconnecting the auxiliary battery cable. Next, we are going to loosen the primary battery cable on the negative terminal.
Set it aside. All right, for the next few steps, we're going to want to remove the front passenger fender.
You will need to remove a trim clip, as well as 4 to 5 bolts, depending on your vehicle model.
Now that we have the push pin and the bolts removed, now we can pull back carefully and remove the front passenger fender.
These white clips may break in the process of removing the fender. The part number is included in this video in case you need to buy replacements.
So carefully pull the fender away, and when you do this, this is the connector that you're going to want to remove from the body. Pull the red tab back and then pull away. All right, next step, we are going to route our harnesses down the fender well. You are going to need your power step harness along with your Lumastep harness for the passenger side. And the way you know it's the passenger side harness is by the 2 ring terminals that will eventually connect to the battery. And for the power step harness, it just simply says passenger side motor. So we're going to take these 2 harnesses and route them down the fender well at this point in time. I'm going to route these connectors one at a time. I'm going to start with the bigger connector that's going to go through this opening on the opposite side of the battery here. I'll send this in, send it down. Then I'm going to take the Lumastep harness with the smaller connectors and do the same exact thing.
First, we will plug our power step harness into the connector on the rear bracket. Then, we will plug the 4 and 2 pin connectors from the lighting harness into the connectors on the front bracket.
Now we're going to route our harnesses over to the driver's side of the vehicle.
Make sure to connect the passenger and driver's side Lumastep harnesses together. Pass both the Lumastep and power harnesses over the engine bay and route them down to the driver's side brackets in the same way we did on the passenger side.
Now we're going to start the process of tapping into our wiring harnesses with one of two different methods. If you chose the plug and play adapter, pulling off the fender exposed this connector that you see right here. You're just going to take your adapter and plug it in like so. Then you're going to take your connector from the Lumastep harness and also plug that in. Now we're going to connect the connector on the driver's side of the vehicle. This one's a bit more accessible compared to the passenger side where we had to remove the fender. You should be able to reach underneath here, probably with a trim tool, and pop this connector off its mounting point.
If you can't access the connector, you can remove the fender the same way you did on the passenger side. Once you disconnect the headlight harness, insert the plug and play adapter into the connector. Make sure to also connect the 4-pin connector.
Now we're going to go over the Hardwire option for lighting.
The red and yellow wire with the quick disconnect is to tap to the turn signal wire on your headlight connector. Signal comes standard for all running boards. The blue wire with the quick disconnect is for enabling running light, if you optioned for it. If you did not option for running light, this wire will be inactive. You can simply tape the wire out of the way. The white wire with the butt connector is for rock light if you optioned for it. If you did not option for rock light, you can tape this wire out of the way as well.
So this is the connector that you're going to tap into that we exposed earlier. You are going to tap into pin 4 and pin 2 of this connector for the Hardwire.
Looking at the back side of the connector with the wires facing you and the mounting trim clip facing down, we will be tapping at pin 4, which is the 3rd pin from the left. Attach a T-tap to the wire coming from pin 4 and then close it shut with an electrical multi-tool. Looking at the back side of the connector with the wires facing you and the mounting trim clip facing down, we will be tapping at pin 2, which is the 2nd pin from the right. Attach a T-tap to the wire coming from pin 2, and then close it with an electrical multi-tool.
The blue wire is going to be attached to pin 4, and the red and yellow wire will be attached to pin 2.
Now plug in your Lumastep harness. The rock light function overrides any existing function when activated and outputs a solid white light. This will remain on until you switch it off and cannot be overridden by other functions like turn signal or running light. If you did option for our rock light harness, follow these next steps. Your harness will have this power terminal, along with 2 white wires that will go to your headlight and the rocker switch.
Now we're going to start the installation of the rock light harness if you've optioned for it.
Route it down the same passage that we used for the power and Lumastep harnesses.
So in this scenario, we are going to use the plug and play adapter that we are tapping to, but it would be essentially the same as if you were using a Hardwire adapter. First, you're going to want to strip the wire. Then you're going to feed the wire into the butt connector, crimp it, make sure the wire doesn't pull out. Then you'll use a heat gun and the heat shrink. We are about to begin the process of using the pass-through to put this rock light harness into the cab, but first you need to disconnect the switch to do so. We're going to have to feed these wires through the same location we've been sending our wires already.
Once you have the rock light harness passed through into the fender well area, we will leave them for later, as we will pass them through the firewall into the cab at the same time as our door signal wires. Route the control unit harness down into the wheel well area, the same way we did the power and Lumastep harness. This will put us into position to run the control unit harness into the cab. To access the pass-through, we will need to find the grommet under the glove box area in the passenger front footwell. Then, use a straightened out metal piece and feed it into the wheel well through the pass-through. Tape your door signal and, if you option for it, your rock light harness to your straightened out metal piece.
Now that we've taped up our harnesses to our straightened out piece of metal, we are going to feed it back through the pass-through. Now we're going to take out the glove box so we can get access to the connector that the signal wires will tap into. You'll need to move a tab out of the way, and the glove box removes just like that. This is the connector that you're going to want to disconnect that we will tap our signal wires into. I'm going to pull right up, just like that. We need to route these signal wires up underneath the glove box here. And now we will tap them to the connector wires. We'll start by tapping the orange wire, or pin 1. Next, we will tap the yellow wire, or pin 2. Now we'll tap from yellow to yellow or from yellow to pin 2. And now white to orange or pin 1. Reconnect the connector.
Make sure to tuck away the connectors in a spot that does not prevent the glove box from closing.
Now reinstall your glove box. Now that we have our wires pulled through our pass-through, we're going to take our rock light wires and feed them through to the driver's side. I'm going to start by pulling back this carpet piece here. And I'm going to feed it underneath the center console area.
Tape the wires to a straightened out piece of metal and send them under the center console dashboard area to the driver's side footwell. Once the wires for your rock light are through, we will want to find a suitable spot on the dashboard for your switch and drill a hole into the dash. Once the hole is drilled, install the rock light switch. Be sure to install the white wire to slot 1 and the red wire to slot 2.
Okay, now we're back underneath the hood. We are going to start by connecting our ECU to our power step harness. And then set it aside for the time being. We will secure this later. We need to connect our power step harness, our Lumastep harness, and if you option for it, our rock light harness. Start by moving back the battery cover on the positive terminal. We're going to disconnect a 10mm nut on the back side of the terminal. Now attach your ring terminals to their appropriate location on the positive terminal. Tighten the nut. Place the cover. Now we're going to reconnect the negative battery terminal to the battery. Starting with the 10mm bolt, it connects the main terminal. Now we're going to reconnect our auxiliary battery and our two remaining ring terminals. Okay, we just finished our harness installation on our vehicle. Now we're gonna move forward to the board installation. So in order to find out what board goes to what side, you're gonna look for the Boost Auto logo. The Boost Auto logo will be on the front part of the vehicle. So if we look at this board, you can see that over here. So this is the passenger side board. Now we've got the board flipped over. This is the rear side of the board, which is going to be where we install our carriage bolts. We're going to use 4 of them on each side. And you're going to want to slide these carriage bolts to approximately where the mounting points will be. In order to install our running boards, we need to deploy this bracket. To do that, just open up one of your passenger side doors. We're going to keep this door open while we install our running board.
Place on spacer each on top of the brackets.
With our carriage bolts aligned, we're going to place our running boards on our brackets.
Hand thread the hardware onto the carriage bolts after you have aligned them through the bracket. Repeat this on both brackets.
Make sure you align the running board before you snug down these bolts.
For the carriage bolts, tighten the frontmost bolt on the front bracket first, then the rearmost bolt on the rear bracket second. Then tighten the remaining 2 bolts. Use hand tools for these to ensure consistent pressure and proper alignment. Now you can tighten down the rest of the bracket bolts.
Make sure you plug in your Lumastep harness to the ECU that's on the board itself. Make sure you use dielectric grease on your terminals before connecting your connectors.
You can now place the harness into the channel and use the included retainers to secure it into the board. After you have secured the harness into the channel with the retainer clips, your lighting harness may have some slack that is hanging out of where the board meets the front bracket. You can adjust the slack by loosening this screw and then pulling the harness back through the bracket accordingly. Once you have the slack properly adjusted, you can retighten the screw. Tie up any wire that is hanging down out of the way of moving components.
Before reinstalling the fender, make sure you reconnect the connector. Carefully install the fender back in its guide.
Once you have the fender in place, you can now reinstall the bolts into the body. Don't forget to reinstall the trim clip as well.
All right, we've completed the installation of our Lumastep M2 powered running board on our 2018 to 2024 Jeep Wranglers. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next time.
Here is a quick overview of the cleaning procedure for your new running boards. On either side of the vehicle, simply open the door and allow the board to deploy. With the board now deployed, step on the running board and close the door. After a few seconds, the board will then try to retract. Thanks to our pinch sensing technology, the board will stay deployed for ease of cleaning. Simply take your foot off the boards and proceed to clean. If you optioned your running board with step pads, we highly recommend our step pad cleaning solution to prolong the longevity of your step pads. Once done, you can open and close the door to retract your running board. Now you're ready to take on the harshest of environments with your new Lumastep M2 powered running board. With precise engineering, Lumastep M2 is the perfect fit for your build, giving a better than OEM look while outperforming everything else on the market. The products shown in this video and so much more can be purchased on our website at boostauto.com. We're proud to offer a wide selection of products, parts, and accessories for your truck or SUV to take your build to the next level. To watch more videos like this one and to find out about our newest innovative products for your vehicle, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's all for now. We'll catch you in the next one.